Welcome all to our today's webinar. Let's just wait for another 15-20 seconds. I see people joining in, so we'll start with the presentation shortly. All right, I think we can get started. So, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, depending on the time zone you're watching us. A warm welcome to who has joined today's webinar. I'm your host, Naveen Rathi, and the focus of today's webinar is SAP Modern Data Orchestration and Visualization. Now, joining with me today, I have four esteemed panelists with me in this area. Mr. Manoj Member, Assistant Vice President, SAP Data Line of Business. Mr. Mohan Raj, Solution Architect, SAP Data Line of Business. Ms. Swati, Data Sphere and SAC Expert. And Ms. Alekhya, the BTP Expert. Next slide, please. Yes, something about Yash. So we are a 28 years old company with expertise in delivering transformation, uh, excellence, and business value. Also, we are among the top organization who is recognized with Great Place to Work consistently from last 8 years, and we are also among the handful providers below USD 1 billion with digital plus application and infra services. We are transformative partner of choice for 75 plus companies across the Fortune 500 companies. And lastly, we have active 8,500 plus employees across geography in various technology and head office located at East Moline. Also, we are the largest SAP service provider globally, and we are known for our SAP on-premise and cloud service portfolio. And also, we are the SAP cloud migration partner with AWS and Azure. We also possess a few of the new niche capabilities in this area, such as SAP, EHS, EMW, and BPC. Now, coming on to our SAP practice overview. So, at YASH Technologies, we are specialized in delivering comprehensive SAP solutions that drive digital transformation for business. And also, our SAP practice focuses on implementing and optimizing SAP systems to enhance operational efficiency and agility. We offer end-to-end services, including consulting, system integration, application management, and support across various SAP modules, which is there right in front of your screen. So, by leveraging industry's best practices and innovative technologies, we empower organization to achieve their business objective and unlock full potential of their SAP investment. Now, let me quickly speak on the agenda for today, which our expert will cover. First, we'll have Manoj member who will cover on the problem statement, what we have to discover today, and then we'll move to the SAP modern data orchestration and visualization. In terms of the solution detail, we'll have the various parameters which are mentioned here. So, which is source correction, which includes source system, S4HANA, BTP, AWS, S3. We also have a dedicated demo in place for the same. Then we have consolidation for SAP Data Sphere. Again, a demo will be showcased during the presentation. And lastly, for the visualization, we have SAP SAC. So again, our demo is organized by our experts. So another thing, so before we move ahead with this presentation, I would request you all to make use of Q&A section where you can have a chance to address your question directly to the experts. And after the presentation, they can take up those questions. Any questions which will not be able to answer, I shall share an email address to which you can write us and we can come back to you. Now, without wasting much time, let me hand over the presentation to Mr. Manoj. Over to you, Mr. Manoj.
Thank you, Naveen. Thanks for the brief. And I would like to take you through the problem statement for today. The problem statement which we thought would be useful in terms of providing this modern data orchestration and visualization. Now, our area of expert in this area was e-commerce. That's reason we have chosen that as a problem statement in order to cover this webinar. Based on the information gathered from our existing e-commerce customers, we understand the key to run a successful e-commerce business always lie on influencing factors such as the product which are in demand, the customer sentiments, the trend and seasonalities, the inventory maintenance and availability, the revenue sectors which are impacting, the business hours in which the e-commerce run, etc. However, these factors are related information would always be there in the underlying data of the systems which we are using. In e-commerce system, such a typical e-commerce system, we observe that there would be many multiple systems involved, such as e-commerce system or ERP systems for transaction purposes. There are separate service systems which are maintained and used to gather the customer sentiment analysis. There are historical data related systems for making predictions. They also maintain a different visualization related systems to make sure that they are able to depict the information from the charts and the relevant information. Now, this complex ecosystem with different systems involved comes with challenges, such as they would have different source systems which are involved. From there, we need to retrieve the data. The data which we are retrieving may not be real time. There might be multiple systems to maintain to make sure that we get the proper information for the e-commerce system. And there might be multiple integrations made with respect to the system such that we are able to get the proper information. Now, such challenges always yield for us in a challenging situations, abruptly getting into a situation where we might have suboptimal system performance, reduced data latency because the systems may not be providing us the data in time, overall impacting the operational efficiency of the e-commerce system. Now, looking at such a volatile situation, we thought we should take this as a problem statement for this webinar and come up with a solution which would help us in terms of resolving this issue in a very unified way. Now, I would like to hand over this particular problem statement to Mohan such that he can explain how the modern data architecture would be helping us in terms of one unified solution and how this is going to help us in terms of carrying out the future e-commerce business. Over to you, Mohan. Thank you for the opportunity.
Thank you, Manoj, for detailed problem statement explanation. So, in alignment to the problem statement for this webinar, uh, we have considered a scenario where the data has been scattered into multiple source systems, okay, like SAP BTP for customer survey and SAP S/4HANA on-premise system as our e-commerce system for the sales data, and AWS S3 box is for the archived historic sales data. Okay, so to resolve this problem statement efficiently, we propose this modern data orchestrations and visualization architecture, yeah, in an unified platform of the same. Okay, so in the following slide, we will establish the source connections with the source systems and data transformations and modeling capabilities of DataSphere and the visualization capabilities of SAP Analytics Cloud. Okay, so moving on to the next slide. So we have the source connection. So let us go ahead and then establish the source connections in DataSphere. So there are three source connections which we will be utilizing for this webinar. So the first one is the SAP S/4HANA on-premise system. If we observe closely on this DataSphere connection screen, we have multiple options to connect with the various on-premise and the cloud systems. Okay, so in our current scenario, we are connecting to our SAP S/4HANA on-premise system in order to extract or in order to consume the current sales data of the e-commerce site, right? So, so to connect to our SAP S/4HANA on-premise system, we are using the respective application server details and then the user credentials. Basically, this SAP S/4HANA connection towards this SAP DataSphere is a live connection. Okay, the connection which we have made between this SAP S/4HANA on-premise with the DataSphere is a live connection. Okay, which will eventually address one of the raised concerns of the problem statement of data latency and data inconsistency issue. Similarly, we are trying to connect to our SAP HANA on cloud HDA container in the BTP to DataSphere using the respective host details of the HDA container. Okay. So moving on, we are trying to connect to our AWS S3 bucket where we have all our historical sales data along with the ratings and then the survey data. Okay. So let us see the snapshot of our AWS S3 data, which shows the historical sales data of the sales which has happened between 2021 till 2023. Let us go through the demo of the source connections which we have made.
In this demo, let us try to establish the connection between SAP S/4HANA on-premise system with SAP DataSphere. To do so, choose Connection, click on Create, select On-premise category, search for S/4HANA, choose this SAP S/4HANA on-premise connection, fill in the required details such as application server, system number, and then the client number, system ID, and then provide the credentials of this particular SAP S/4HANA on-premise system. Choose the data provisioning agent and then proceed to next step. In this optional section, let us leave the default settings as it is. Proceed to the next step. Provide your connection details name. Finally, choose create connection. Once the connection is created, select this connection and then choose validate. This will help us in checking whether the connection is valid or not. So here we are getting a message like the connection S3X underscore connection is valid. And now the DataSphere is connected to SAP S/4HANA on-premise system.
In this demo, let us see how to connect BTP with the DataSphere. Again, go to Connections, click on Create, and select the cloud category. Search for HANA. Choose SAP HANA connection. Select the cloud category. Provide the host and the port number. Select the authentication type as username and password. Provide the credentials of the HDA container which you are trying to connect. Choose next step. Enter the technical and business name for this connection. And then press create connection. Once the BTP connection is created, let us check if the connection is valid. we are able to see that the BTP connection which we have created is valid. Thank you. So before we go into DataSphere, let us just recap what we have done. So we had three source systems. One is BTP, which is a HDA container, and another one is SAP S/4HANA on-premise system, which is our e-commerce system, and another one is AWS S3 box. So from BTP, we have retrieved, we want to retrieve the customer survey details of our current financial year sales data. And from SAP S/4HANA, we're going to retrieve the current financial year sales data. And in AWS S3, we'll be retrieving the historical data of the sales. Okay. So now we will be focusing on the DataSphere capabilities like data modeling, data integrations, data refinement, and data enrichment. Okay. Moving on, let us see how the data is transformed in the DataSphere using Data Builder. So this is the overall data flow design built in the Data Builder of the SAP DataSphere. So the as we already discussed, the current physical year sales data has been retrieved from the SAP S/4HANA system by applying the necessary filters and joins. So and then the result of this join has been joined with the HTA container of the BTP in order to get the survey details of the current physical year sales data, right? And then we are merging it with the AWS S3 system in order to get the historical data as well as the historical survey details of the sales which has happened between 2021 till 2023, right? So by using the existing feature of the calculated columns, we have created new columns such as year, quarter, and months based on the underlying value which has come from the document date. So if you can see the sample data which is which has come out of the data model which we have created using this data builder, or the sales documents, document date, and the materials which have been sold, and as well we are able to see the overall ratings and the product ratings of the sales which we have done, and the overall sentiment also have been captured through this data builder. So here we are at the business builder, where this is the business layer of the data sphere, which is another layer. So earlier we have seen the data layer through which we have done the data builder, right? So here this data builder can help us in refining and enriching the data models, and not only that, it can allow us to add or remove the needed or unneeded measures, attributes, and properties of the models which we have created. And also it will help us to simplify our views which we are going to generate or which we are going to give it to SAC, that is SAP Analytics Cloud. And also this business builder help us in helping us with the authorization scenarios where we can restrict some of the authorizations in order to avoid accessing the backend data which we are trying to consume it in the SAC, right? So basically in the business builder, the facts are created using the data model which we have created it in the data builder. So all the facts will further consumed in the consumptions and the perspective models, which will be generated a tightly focused perspective view for the analytics to SAs. Okay. Followingly, let us quickly explore the SAP DataSphere demo.
In previous session, we have explained how to set up source connections. Now, in this section, we are going to explore the data sphere. In the source system, we are using three types of sources. One is SDX system, will be used to create the sales data. The second one is BTP, that is sentimental analysis. It is nothing but to show the overall rating of sales. The third one is AWS system, which will be used to extract the historical data with the help of sources to create a graphical view in Data Builder. The same graphical view created in Data Builder will be imported to Business Builder to create a new fact models. After creating new fact model, it will be saved as a consumption model. Once it is saved as a consumption model, it will be deployed as a perspective model. By using this perspective model, we will build analytical charts in SAC. This is how data reflects. In this, we will use some join conditions to get the target data. This is graphical view. This graphical view is used in Business Builder to create a business entities and fact models as a foundation for consumption model and protect by creating the authorization scenarios. So the first one is fact model. This fact model is saved as a consumption model. Once consumption model is saved, deploy as a perspective model. This perspective model is used in SSC to build the charts and analytical reports. Thank you.
So as the result of the business builder, whatever the perspective model that we have got, which will be inputted to the SAC, which is SAP Analytics Cloud. So I would like to hand it over to Swati to explain the SAP Analytics Cloud part. Thank you.
Thank you, Mohan. As demoed earlier, the perspective model of the data sphere would be accessed in SSC for building the stories. In SSC, we created sample stories to prepare a consolidated sales report which highlights customer revenue patterns, product consumption pattern, and overall customer sentimental analysis. We have utilized various charts such as bar chart, heat map chart, pie chart, and donut chart, etc. to visualize the dependency among the sales data. Moving on. To develop the stories in SAP Analytical Cloud, we utilize the perspective model developed in SAP DataSphere. Moving on. Here is the snapshot of the dashboard prepared to showcase the sales data. We have utilized the multiple charts like numeric chart to represent ordered quantities sold and total net value. Bar chart is used to identify top 5 products with respect to quantity and revenue. Pie and donut chart were used to segregate revenue and order quantity on monthly basis. Heat map and a stacked area were used to segregate revenue and order quantity on quarterly basis. Similarly, the combination column and line charts was used to represent relation between quantity and revenue on monthly basis. Finally, overall survey details with respect to each orders and cumulative percentages were shown using the table and pie chart respectively. Let's have a visual tool on SSC sales dashboard. Here the live data. Thank you.